Soccer to me, and a lot of foreigners will tell you the same thing. Soccer is life to me. I love soccer. It's a game that's always been there for me when nobody else was. My name is Peyton Alexander Lumley. I am 24 years old. My occupation currently, I just took a job as a financial representative for Northwestern Mutual. I am Ukrainian by birth, come from Karpaty, Ukraine. Came here when I was a kid. I've lived here ever since.
Was soccer a way to connect with people once you moved here?
Yes, in Texas and quite a bit of the U.S., honestly, there is a large Latin population that is very into soccer. Still to this day, after work and on the weekends, I'll play what they call Mexican League soccer, which is a lot of fun to me. It's you meet a lot of other foreigners that way, and also when I got here and I was not so good with the language at the time, that was a way for me to make friends that I couldn't even verbally communicate with.
Do you have any influences, or icons in the soccer world?
Pele, which, as you can see, I'm wearing Brazilian colors today. He was from Brazil. He's considered the greatest player of all time. That guy grew up so poor he tied socks together when he was a kid to make his first soccer ball, and ended up being the greatest player of all time. One of the first books I ever remember reading in English was a biography on Pele, and it was only maybe 40 pages long. But something that really struck me in that book was the fact that there was a war going on in Africa, and Pele's soccer team from Brazil was touring in Africa at the time, and they literally had a standstill in a war. People quit fighting each other, quit killing each other for an entire day for a standstill just to watch this guy play soccer. And they have pictures of these guys in the crowd. They were shooting at each other the day before, and now they've got their hands on each other's shoulders, sitting there cheering together. I thought that was very powerful. The jersey, okay. One of my best friends in high school, he was a foreign exchange student from Brazil that played with me on the soccer team at Robert E. Lee. And when the day came that he had to go back to Brazil, he asked me, "Hey, do you want to come with me?" And of course, at the time, I said, "No, man, I don't have the money for that." And he said, "Well, joke's on you. My parents sent a plane ticket both ways for you." So I gratefully accepted and stayed there for 3 months. And I loved the culture. I soaked it in. We played soccer every day there. Come 4 or 5 years later, he came to visit me here in Tyler a few months ago, and he brought this with me. It's actually got my name on the back of it and my number as well. When I got off of my airplane going to Brazil, I had a layover in Cartagena, Colombia, which I was there for about 24 hours. The first thing I saw when I got out to kind of look around, got out of a taxi cab, were people juggling a soccer ball, playing a game where you keep the ball up in the air. And I didn't speak Spanish, but I was able to walk up to these guys and kind of motion, can I play with you? And I could. So without speaking the same language, with the language barrier, I picked up 5 friends just like that. Fast forward 5 hours from them, we're all drinking beer together somewhere, and somebody, like I said, I didn't speak the language, but somebody at this place, we were at a bar, and somebody had a problem with me because I didn't speak the language, I wasn't from there, and before I knew what was going on, I realized that these 5 guys that knew nothing about me had just met me because we kicked a soccer ball around, sat there and boarded trouble away from me while I was in a place I didn't know. I can tell you that by way of kicking a ball around playing soccer, I've made business connections, I've made lifelong friends, and there is not a continent other than Antarctica that I could name you that I don't have friends in at this point because of this game.